All right, we've got a choice. There are times where there is no wrong answer, and when you're comparing a J.J. Watt or a Von Miller, and who would you rather have on your football team? I don't know you can go wrong here, Buck. But to me, if I'm going to jump on it first here, I'm going to go with the guy that I can move up and down the line of scrimmage, and that can be a disruptive player inside as well as outside, and that's going to be J.J. Watt. And I know the team, look, they haven't been as successful this year as Houston Texans fans would like, but J.J. Watt's still playing at an ultra-high level. You watch him against the Tennessee Titans, going to line up over the tackle. He's going to end up splitting the center and the guard, Buck, and you can't keep this guy out of the backfield. You see his eyes on the prize there, going to split with quickness and effort, and then when he gets there, he doesn't just get the sack, he's going to get the ball out as well. So he's somebody you have to account for, not with one, not with two, sometimes three guys account for him on a down in and down out basis, and there's still nothing you can do about it. I would end up going with J.J. Watt over Von Miller, but it's close. It's very close.
No, I mean, you can't go wrong with J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt brings a lot to the table, a guy that can be an inside rusher, an outside rusher. You can move him up and down the defensive line. But for me, I'm thinking about this being a passing league because as you kind of drilled into my head, it's a quarterback-driven league. So I'm going to try and find a way to knock out the quarterback. And the guy who knocks him out better than anybody, Von Miller, 53.5 sacks since he entered the league, a guy who is tremendous off the ball. He has explosive first step quickness, snap count anticipation. Kind of reminds me of one of my former teammates, Derek Thomas. His ability to get off the ball is remarkable. Here we're going to see him with quick speed rush off the edge, dip and rip, the balance and body control that you can't even teach young pass rushers. Turns the corner, down, and then you go wind it up, wind it up. You know what? We need to have our young guy Willie. We need to have Willie come in there and put his hands on his hip and work around it and kind of get loose in the hips. But that is what Von Miller brings to the table. He's an exciting player, a guy that is really part of the reason the Denver Broncos defense is playing at a lights out level. You have a pass rusher. Your ability to kind of change and do some things, it really enhances your defense. I want a Von Miller on my squad.
When you tell your son dinner's ready, is that what he gives you when he's pumped
Sometimes.
up? He gives you the ravishing Rick Rude?
Yeah, he's really excited about that. Sometimes he does that. He brings a little WWE into the room.
Well, to me, look, I had a chance to talk to Coach Jim Schwartz on the show last year about comparing that, having a dominant interior player versus a dominant edge rusher. And he made a good point, and having, spent time there with Ndamukong Suh and the success they had with that defense in Detroit, especially last year under Terrell Austin last year with Sue. He brought up a good point. With an edge rusher, you can scheme against that a little bit better. You can throw a tight end over there. You can throw a back over there. As a quarterback, you can climb up and get away from him. Mm-hmm. If you have somebody that's pressuring you inside and in your face, there's nothing you can do about it. And we've seen J.J. Watt. You're going to put two guys on him, he'll split you because he's just so much more athletic than anybody he's going to see on an interior offensive line. And that, to me, is why if I have a guy that can get to the quarterback inside versus outside, I'm going to lean more towards the inside guy.
Well, I mean, it makes sense in that scenario, and Schwartz knows better than anybody. Not only did he have Ndamukong Suh, but Albert Haynesworth, during his time in Tennessee, when Schwartz was there, was a dominant player. And his ability to create disruption allowed Kyle Vanden Bosch and some other guys to eat on that defensive line. I'm still a little more traditional and old school. I prefer to have a guy that I can ask him to put his hand in the ground and just come off the edge and really attack. I want to disrupt and really create fear, because if I have a guy like that, if I can find a complementary rusher, I now know that I can kind of keep that quarterback in the pocket and I can make life miserable for him when it comes to passing.
Yeah, well, I ended up going J.J. Watt. You went Von Miller, Bucky, but again, I can't argue this one too intensely because I'm a big Von Miller fan as well. TD, behind the glass there, do we reach out to the public to get their thoughts on this? What did the voting results say?
Yes, we did, and it was a landslide for Justin James Watt. He got 76% of the vote, and Von Miller only got 24% of the vote.
That's not, look, that doesn't surprise me. I'm sure it doesn't surprise you either.
No, it doesn't surprise me. He's a very popular guy. He's a guy that kind of plays the game the right way. He's done a lot. You talk about a guy that's a two-time Defensive Player of the Year. However, in building the franchise, for me, you can't go wrong with either guy. Von Miller off the edge is something that I always look for because it's so hard to find some of those guys that have those special traits.
I know one thing, J.J. Watt would change records with Von Miller at this point in time. Von Miller and Denver Broncos having a much better season. All right, Buck. Well, that's gonna do it for our show today. Again, for those listening, watching, make sure you go iTunes. Leave us some comments. Leave us a rating there if you can. Give us what you like, what you don't like, what we can change to make the show better. Subscribe on YouTube as well. Check us out, NFL.com podcast. We're all over the place. We'll have another episode coming up later this week as well.
Yeah, it should be good. Also, check us out on NFL Now. Some of the Scout versus Scout. Get some of your knowledge.
Lots coming your way. Move the sticks here, DJ, Bucky.
Thanks for downloading Move the Sticks with Daniel Jeremiah and Bucky Brooks. For more, go to NFL.com.